Now in Shagger's first YouTube video, and today is going to be systematically getting jacked for grappling. What's that? Grapple strong rash guards. Anyways, in grappling, there is probably 5 to 10 super effective submissions. Rear naked chokes, heel hooks, guillotines, head and arm bar, straight foot lock. And if we spent most of our time working on those submissions, we'll probably get pretty good at grappling pretty fast. And it's the same in your strength and conditioning. The reason why I want to go through these with you is I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did on just wasting time in the gym. I am 30 years old and I've been training since I was 13 years old. I have also been coaching since I was 17 years old. So I've spent a lot of time in the gym and I've done and tried everything. Westside, Mike Boyle, Eric Cressy, 531, Christine Thibodeau, Dane Miller, the Cube Method, Squat Every Day, Chad Wesley Smith's Juggernaut Training Systems, Exos, Travis Mash. I've been and tried it all. Weightlifting. So I want to give you the condensed method and how to not waste your time. I spent 2 years doing ATG. I'm not saying ATG is a waste of time, but I missed out on a lot of gains fucking around doing ATG. ATG gave me some great mobility stuff, and I met some great people doing it, but I also lost out on a lot of actual gains in the gym, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. I want to give you the best exercises, in my opinion, for grapplers. So starting the list with the neck. The reason why we should train our neck is for every pound of neck strength, odds reduced of concussion, and there's also nothing more intimidating than a big fucking neck. So in grappling, Owen Levesey taught me, just try have 3 options for everything. So I'm going to give you 3 exercises for every area. So the neck, I want you to do neck flexion and neck extension. This could be holding a plate on your head, doing flexion and extension. Second exercise is iso holds. So front, back and side. This can be done on a bench. And last things is like wrestler bridge hold. So going all the way through. Every man should have a thick neck. Next is like grip and wrists. Why? In grappling, having a strong grip matters. Also, wrists, elbows and forearms are the most common place to get injuries. So we need to protect them. So some exercises we can do is simply adding a fat grip to our exercises. For example, fat grip chins or fat grip curls. Secondly is a wrist roller, flexion and extension. So this is putting a kettlebell on the end of the bar and working the roller motion. And lastly, one of my favorites is plate flips or plate pinches for hold. There's nothing better than having a big, strong grip and some big, juicy fucking forearms. Next category is carries. Why? Again, with carries build that grappling grip strength. They also build that anaconda strength. And lastly, they just build a robust core. So I think some of the best carries you can add into your program is farmer's walks, Zercher carries and marches, and lastly, single arm carries, which could either be suitcase or waiter or overhead. Now, the squat. The squat is king, and I will stand by that no matter what. Show me a man that can deep squat 150 to 200 kilos, and I guarantee that bloke will be a handful. I would make these a massive part of your strength development. I think they're also paramount for things like takedowns, throws, and power. So, the 3 best squat options, in my opinion, the high bar, deep back squat. I think there's just nothing better than a good high bar, deep back squat. It's going to build mobility, strength, and obviously the stronger we get, the more powerful we should be. Secondly, for grapplers, is the Zercher squat. The reason being, our wrists and elbows get battered, so doing stuff like a front squat can actually be quite painful for grapplers, so we can then go to a Zercher position, which will give us a good front-loaded squat. And again, going front-loaded actually helps put the weight back a little bit so we can squat a bit deeper. So I would recommend the Zercher squat. And lastly is a single leg squat. This could be also called a rear foot elevated split squat or a Bulgarian split squat. Again, both the same, but we should build strength on one leg too. Next is the hinge. The hinge or hinge exercises help you build a strong lower back. They protect your lower back and they also build some big, powerful fucking hips. And if you look at stuff like judo Judo guys are so powerful from the hip. They have violent hip extension. And these exercises are going to help that. The 3 best exercises, in my opinion, for the hinge is the stiff leg deadlift, the deficit IDL, and lastly, a Zercher good morning. These 3 exercises are just the king of building a massive, strong posterior chain. And posterior chain is pretty much all the muscles from the back of your head all the way down to the back of your Achilles. I look at your posterior muscles as your go muscles. So anything from the back of the head down to the Achilles is where all your go muscles are, your back, your hamstrings, your glutes, and then anything in the front is kind of like your show muscles. So again, speaking of your posterior chain, your go muscles will go on to pull. Grapplers need a big, strong back because pulling is key. If you are a gi guy, obviously you're pulling and pushing a lot on the gi. And again, when it comes to stuff like an underhook, you are again some pulling motion. So my 3 best exercises for the pull is number 1, the weighted chin up. Obviously, if you cannot do a weighted chin up yet, your goal should be to be able to get to at least a bodyweight chin up. That pull is what we call a vertical pull. Then we need a horizontal pull. So horizontal is, if this is vertical, going up, horizontal is going sideways or going chest parallel to the floor. And that exercise is the Penlay row, specifically the explosive Penlay row. And lastly, something called a seal row. Yes, you could do dumbbell chest supported rows because not a lot of gyms allow us the position to get into a seal row. But if you can do a seal row, it is an amazing exercise, again, for both strength, hypertrophy, power. Now, let's build some upper body armor and move on to push. Let's build those strong frames and let's work on them side control escapes. So yeah, the number 1 exercise for the push is the bench press, both incline and flat. Secondly is dips. Dips are going to, if you can do a full range of motion dip, you've probably got some healthy shoulders. And if you can add weight to those dips, again, you're onto an absolute winner. And again, press-ups. Press-ups such a simple exercise, but again, so good for building healthy, strong shoulders, especially if you can go full, deep range of motion push-ups. So going hands elevated on some kettlebells is a great idea with that. Next is jumps, or you could also call them plyometrics. Now, with these, you need to learn how to take your body weight. So you need to learn how to land first. Not a lot of people can actually jump on land. So you need to first learn how to take your body weight. These are then going to improve your ability to generate force and also then start to be quick and athletic. So when it comes to the best jumps are all of them. With load, without load, and assisted. Broad jumps, vertical jumps, single leg broad jumps, hops, pogos, barbell back squat jumps. All jumps are fucking great and you should have them in your program. And it's simple as just adding them at the beginning of all your sessions. Now, I mentioned Anaconda Strength earlier. So what is Anaconda Strength? I stole this from Dan John, a great coach. Anaconda Strength is being able to build that internal pressure for grappling and applying it for takedowns and or taking a fucking beating. There's sometimes somebody's going to come in, pick you up and put you through the fucking ground. You need to be able to take that. If you can't take that, you are going to break, and weak things break. So the best exercises for Anaconda Strength is L-sit holds, ab rollouts with either a barbell or an ab wheel, and lastly, a toes to bar or a hanging leg raise. If you can build up to all these 3 exercises, you are going to have a strong, robust core. Next, I'm going to label this as hip work. And what I mean by hip work is building some big, strong, mobile hips. Obviously, if you are a guard player, you need strong hips. People get adductor tweaks because they don't have strong, mobile hips. So how we can build that into your program is using these 3 exercises. Number 1 is a Cossack squat. If you can start building Cossack squats into your program, learn how to hold the position and then eventually add weight, you will build some strong, resilient adductors. The next 2 is lateral lunges and lateral squats. The difference between Cossacks and squats is that Cossacks are a little bit deeper. And the difference between a lateral squat and lateral lunge, a lunge is we are stepping out, whereas a squat is we're kind of holding in place. So again, these 3 exercises are going to build you some strong, mobile, resilient hips. And now lastly, the lower limbs. Yes, you probably should train your calves. You need to protect the lower limbs. Plus, you can't go around walking with tiny calves. You just can't do it. So the 3 best exercises for the lower limb, in my opinion, the single leg paused calf raise. So if I was you, get a bumper plate and try do a deficit single leg calf raise with a pause, both at the bottom and the top. And next is doing bent leg calf raises. So calf raises, so it's a slightly bent knee while doing the calf raises. And lastly is some tib raises. Again, tib raises aren't going to cure cancer, but they are going to help, again, build some resilient lower limbs. And lastly, I'm just going to go through some additional great exercises, which I think you could add to your program. So the Olympic lifts. The Olympic lifts are great. And I think if you're going to be training for the next 10 to 20 years, why not just try and learn some? If they do batter you, two options: learn to take a beating or don't do them at all. Again, if you don't want to put time into them, you don't have to. Next is incline curls. Incline curls are great for bicep development, but also amazing for shoulder health. Thirdly, is JM presses for the triceps. Again, there's nothing wrong with having big, strong, resilient triceps. They're also going to help build elbows, which again is a common area for grapplers to get injured in. Back extensions are great for building a strong lower back. Hamstring curls and Nordics, you could probably put these maybe in the hinge area. But yeah, hamstring curls are probably should be a paramount exercise in your program weekly. Tricep pushdowns, great for a pump, great for getting reps in, great for hypertrophy. And lastly, a kind of Olympic lift variants, jerks or behind the neck presses. If you can do these exercises, again, you are going to build some big fucking juicy shoulders. So that was systematically getting jacked for grappling, and some of my favorite exercises for grapplers, which I think you should add into your program. Hope you enjoyed it. First YouTube video. I'm not into scripting or anything like that, so hopefully it went down well. And if you want a new rash guard, we might be coming out with them very, very soon. Thanks for watching, everyone.